And Kyle, as we sent it to you, over the weekend, we lost a titan in this industry. That titan being John Clayton, who I had a chance to work with for a few years and can honestly say the man was genuine, nice, generous with his time, incredible professional, and very knowledgeable. And before all the insiders, it was always about Chris Mortensen and John Clayton. Without fail, they had all the information. So certainly that is a loss felt by all of us.
Yeah, not surprised to hear that was your experience, Will. I'm sure a lot of you had the same experience I did this past weekend. I'm out with friends on Friday night. It's Friday evening. And one of my friends looked at their phone and they said, "Oh, no." I said, "What?" I said, "John Clayton died." And I was just gut punched by it. And I'd never worked with him. I never met John Clayton. And yet I was immediately so sad because I love John Clayton. And I'm sure a lot of you watching too did as well. He was a guy who obviously loved football, obviously worked so hard, obviously was so completely secure with himself on television, which was very difficult to do. I remember years ago, he and Sean Salisbury, and it was the professor and the quarterback, and Salisbury would yell at him and debate him, and John Clayton didn't back down an inch. I used to see him on Radio Row during Super Bowl week, working every one of those card tables, just dealing facts and insight. And it goes without saying, the Slayer commercial he did from ESPN was so incredibly creative and so modest and so secure in his performance. He then talked about how he went on to go see Slayer and meet the guys and how much they loved him. I just have so much love for John Clayton and everything he put on TV and everything he did for this league. And I was so sad to hear it. And Tom, I know he's someone that you spent some time with too.
Yeah, I was extremely broken up about this. The news-breaking game in the NFL is so competitive and so cutthroat. And there's a lot of times that people don't have relationships with one another just because you're constantly in that competitive environment. And when I was a young reporter coming up years before NFL Network or USA Today, I got a chance to meet John, and he was one of those people who was more than willing to engage with younger reporters and kind of pick their brains and have some type of relationship. If I were in Seattle at training camp, he'd invite me out to lunch. I remember being at, I believe it was the Combine circa 2010 with a group of, Darren Gant and Darren Urban and Kevin Seifert and some others, and John Clayton was there too. And we realized John had never tweeted as of that dinner. And so we spent the entire dinner convincing him to send his first tweet, which he ultimately did, spelling Kevin Seifert's name wrong in the process. I also remember he sent back his entree twice that night. He was very exacting about details, and that went all the way to his food. Years later, being in Santa Clara, I think it was a Monday night game with the 49ers, and I came back to the Santa Clara Marriott, and John's in the bar at like 1 in the morning with a stack of papers this thick, and he's manually updating all of his salary cap records. He was so into the minutia and the little things. He had me on his podcast last year to talk about the collective bargaining agreement for like a half hour. I mean, the granular stuff, because that's what got him into it. And I always appreciated that he saw something in me that he could even have that conversation. I mean, here he's bringing me on with the professor to talk about collective bargaining. He called me Tommy Tweets. That was his name for me. Every time he'd see me, Tommy Tweets. So from Tommy Tweets,
that's great. John
Clayton, you're missed beyond belief, and press boxes won't be the same without you.
Yeah, guys, very tough for me as well. I think when you go across and you hear everyone talk about very similar stories. I've been interviewed a ton by John Clayton, going back to my playing days into as of lately. But it was one story that I have to tell you that I remember vividly. We were both on a plane from somewhere going to Seattle. I forget where, but it was from the East Coast. It was like one of those 5.5-hour flights. And normally when you get on the plane, you don't want to be bothered. You don't want to be, you kind of just want to be to yourself, go to sleep. So I put my hood on and I tried to close my eyes. And for the whole 5.5 hours, John Clayton who sat behind me, talked to the guy next to him about football. Wasn't upset, wasn't frustrated, nothing. They literally broke down the NFC West, the AFC East, Tom Brady, all these different things. And, to go back to kind of what everyone's saying is he was so generous with his time, right? He really wanted to educate people on the game. Obviously, that's why they call him the professor. And he's definitely going to be missed. I did his radio show every year when obviously the Rams play the Seahawks. So I would go on there every year to talk about it. it's going to be tough not to do it with him not being there. So, again, I wish his family well and everyone else. Definitely a tough time for a lot of us here in the NFL.
It's so true what you say. I mean, I never worked with him. I've met him, I think, briefly a couple times. He was wonderful, universally loved, as everyone says. I just don't know what sports is in my life without John Clayton. He's always been there. He's always been there with the news, with the minutia or the exact numbers or whatever. It is incredible to think he was just on the radio last week. He was still doing his job. It was a brief illness. And Tom and MJD, I'm so sorry that you guys knew him personally, and my condolences to you. But what an impact on the league. 50 years. Really think about that. 50 years going back to covering the Steelers and Pittsburgh sports as a teenager. Unbelievable, back in 1972. So the outpouring from everybody around the league, anybody who was around him or got to watch him on TV, shows how important he really was. And I would urge everybody and encourage you to check out Twitter, maybe search his name, look at some stories and love. Peter King had a beautiful write-up about him, as he always does on Monday mornings. And survived by his wife Pat and sister Amy. We lost a good one. John Clayton, you'll be missed.